Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mina, and today's video is something that I'm so very excited for. Today's video I've been meaning to make for a very long time. It is one where I read all of the Booktubers' favorite books. They're 5-star reads, I guess. 5 booktubers in this video. All of these 5 booktubers are some of my favorite content creators of all time, and I enjoy their content and I enjoy their reading tastes and I enjoy the books that they read, and we have very similar reading tastes. And so I decided to do a video where I read their 5-star read and see how I like them and if I give them 5 stars as well. So we have 5 books in this video from 5 different booktubers, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. So without me further rambling like I usually do, let's get on with this video and see what 5 books and 5 booktubers I chose for this video. And if you like the idea of this video, let me know down below so I can do a part 2 with 5 different booktubers that I also enjoy. So hope you enjoy watching this video, and let's get started. Okay, besties, so today is Sunday. Today is the first day where I do the I read booktubers' favorite books video, and today we are starting with Sloot, A Tale of Bewitchery from Pham, or by Pham. This book is ABookLeo's favorite book, Leonie from ABookLeo. This is her favorite book, and I don't know anything about this book, to be honest. I have no idea what this book is about, and I don't really know. It seems a little bit strange, I'm not going to lie. There's apparently some illustrations in here. I don't know how many pages this is. This kind of looks like you were to read a fairy tale. This is a lot like a fairy tale book. So this book has 305 pages, which is not a lot at all. When I say that it's written like a fairy tale, this is what I mean. Like, do you see the way it's written? And then there's a picture on the side. This reminds me very fairy tale vibes. I'm assuming this is about a witch. It's probably going to be a horror thriller type of book. I don't know that I'm in the mood for this, I'm not going to lie to you, but this is the only one out of these 5 that I am the most weary about, because I don't personally like to read a lot of horror, thriller, psychological thriller, suspense type of book. I'm not the biggest person on that. So my goal is to finish this as quickly as humanly possible, so I don't have to think about it, I don't have to look at it. Yeah, I don't know what this book is about. All I know is that Leonie loves it, and I love Leonie, and I love her videos, and she is one of my favorite booktubers of all time. So when I thought about making this video, I thought I might as well step out of my comfort zone and try different types of books other than romance and fantasy and cozy fantasy and mystery and stuff like that I usually read. So apparently Sloot is a demon or a devil. This is looking like a very this has a very big possibility of being DNF'd, because I don't like reading these types of books, but I'm going to try to push through. I'm intrigued, to say the least, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for this or if I particularly like this type of genre type of book, so that makes me a little bit nervous. If you did happen to catch my face during the time lapse of me reading this book, then you would see how disturbed I was. This book is about the devil and a witch, and I don't know how to explain it other than the fact that this is it makes me feel very uneasy, and not in a good way. I don't like the writing of this book. I don't like the vibes that this book gives me. I know. It's hard to judge a book like this, because I know so many people love like books like this that are witchy and dark and mysterious and like gory, but this is not for me. This is not for me. I am a strictly romance fantasy, enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine reader. You know what I mean? Like ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, Ember in the Ashes. That's where you would find me. Not in this genre. Not in this genre. I don't like horror books. I think if you like dark academia and like dark and mysterious and just books that make you feel a little bit uneasy, then you would love this book. Personally, it's just not for me. I read 50 pages and I decided that I just cannot force myself through this book because I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's about this girl who basically meets the devil, and he's like, it's just so, it's like I'm watching a horror movie that makes me feel uneasy, and I don't even watch horror movies. So that should tell you how I feel about this book. I really sat there for a moment and I thought about if I wanted to DNF this book or not, because I really don't want it to be like a thing that I DNF a book every video that I do. This just happened to be the book that I'm not really sold on. I don't like the story. I don't like the way it's told. I don't like the graphics in here. Makes me feel queasy. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. I feel queasy. Like, just holding this book makes me feel queasy and uneasy and not good in any sense of the word. I don't want to read about the devil, you know? So that's the DNF of this video. Hopefully the only one of this video, which I'm pretty sure it will be. So next book I will be reading is Carrie Cake's CariCanRead. Her favorite book, her 5-star book, her 5-star read. She gushed about this in one of her videos. I don't remember which one it is. I just love her and I love her content. And so when she talked about this book in her 5-star reads, I've decided to pick it up for myself and see what the big deal of it is. And that is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I'm biting the bullet and picking this up. So this book is written by the same author who wrote The Atlas 6, which I read in my Dark Academia reads. And if you saw that video, then you would know that I kind of just was like, okay about it. I didn't really love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't feel anything about it. It wasn't really anything, you know, crazy. It did have some illustrations in there about the characters, which was fun to see, fun to follow along with. The story was okay, but nothing special for me to continue on with the series. Because Carrie Cakes spoke about this, I thought it would be a perfect chance for me to pick it up. So this is One for My Enemy. I don't know what this is about. No idea. Illustrations in here, just like there was in the Atlas 6 as well. And like I said, I have no idea what this is about. Hopefully I enjoy this a little bit more than the Atlas 6. It says, in modern-day Manhattan, where we lay our scene, two rival witch families fight to maintain control of their respective criminal empires. This has 3.8 stars on Goodreads. A lot of Olivia Blake's writing, for some reason, isn't really very highly rated on Goodreads. I'm not really sure why that is. But yeah. I love this cover, and I'm excited to pick this up. Rival families, so I'm guessing this is going to be a enemies to lovers, and it's been blurbed by Holly Black, which I love her writing, Chloe Gong, my queen, if you know, you know, and Amanda Foody, which I also really enjoy Amanda Foody's writing, so I feel like I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm excited to pick it up. I'm way more excited to pick this up than I was for the Atlas 6, so at least there's that. Hopefully it doesn't let me down. I will let you know how I feel about it, and if I love it or if I hate it, and we'll just give updates as we go, because that's how this video works, you know? Like, okay. Today is Monday. I have started One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake, as you guys saw from the earlier clips that I had of me looking through it. In one sitting, I read this much. I am on Act 5. I'm on page 217, so I'm more than halfway through by like a couple more pages, by a couple of pages. This book is 404 pages, so I'm a little bit over halfway, and I am eating this girly up. So let me explain to you what this book is about, because I had no idea, and if someone had told me, then I would have probably picked this up a lot sooner. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but with witches. So both families are witches. And if you know anything about me, once there's a retelling, I'm there, I'm sat, I'm front row, I have popcorn in my hand, I'm ready to watch the show. I have read a Romeo and Juliet retelling, which is These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, and that is one of my favorite series of all time, or one of my favorite duologies of all time. I loved everything. I loved reading it. I loved the experience of reading that duology, and the fact that it was Romeo and Juliet inspired. I live for Romeo and Juliet. Mind you, I've never read the play because it is too advanced for me. This book has actually made me think that maybe I should pick up the actual play and maybe like a translation of it, so, to try to understand it and see like the parallels, because I obviously have never read it, so I don't know to what extent this follows the same timeline of Romeo and Juliet. I know of it, but I don't know details enough to pick up on them, you know? So, two witch families, and they're fighting, and oh my god, is this good! This is so good! This deserves so much, like so many more ratings on Goodreads and so many better ones, because what are people doing giving it like 3.8, I believe, on Goodreads? This book is so good. It's written so well. The way that a scene is described, this is eons better than the Atlas Complex or the Atlas 6. Yeah, the Atlas 6. This is eons better than the Atlas 6. This book is so fun to read, so easy to read. Like, I'm actually rooting for the characters. I like the characters. It feels very dark and mysterious, and like there's so much on the line, and like you can tell you actually like the characters enough to be able to be like shook by the events that are taking place in this book. This book is so good. It's so good. I definitely recommend you read it. I understand why Cari can read. Why Cari? I'm just gonna refer to her as Cari as if we're friends. Let me live the fantasy, okay? I understand why Cari enjoyed this book so much, because I am eating this book up. I am living it up. I'm about to sit over here and read a little bit more because I am enjoying myself so much. I'm definitely going to be finishing this tomorrow because I need to know what's gonna happen. This is taking all the twists and turns that I didn't expect to happen. There's like multiple sisters. I believe there's maybe 7 or 8 sisters in one family and 3 brothers in the other family. And oh my God. And also like the illustrations, and then it's like broken into like setting and characters and like staging, and oh my God. Oh my God. Like each opening for every act or every like part and chapter has like these in it. I'm eating it up. I'm enjoying myself so much. I love this book. I'm enjoying it. I love the characters. I love the high pace, like the fast pace of it, and how quickly it's moving, and how I actually found myself like smiling reading the banter between the 2 characters, and how much there is at stake, and how much like you feel for these characters. And what's crazy is that when I read the Atlas 6, I did not care about a singular character in that book. I could not care less. I was like, okay, and one of you died, and moving on, you know? But these, I'm like, oh my God, if one of you die, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm enjoying this book so much. I don't know if I'll be giving it 5 stars, because I feel like I gave Our Violent Delight, or These Violent Delights, and Our Violent Ends, I believe that's the duology. I gave that one 5 stars, and I enjoyed that one a lot more than I'm enjoying this one, but I'm still enjoying this one enough to give it maybe 4.5 stars. It's that high up there. One of the main guy characters in here, I am soft mush for him. I love him. He's so cute. If you've read this book, then you know Lev is the love of my life. I love him. He's so soft. He's so cute. I love him. He's adorable. I'm enjoying this book so much. I did not expect to like this as much as I'm liking it, but I'm loving it. So definitely give it a try if you haven't yet, because you're a little bit on the edge about Olivia Blake's writing. It's gotten so much better in this one than it was in the Atlas 6. Today is Tuesday and it is 11:20 in the morning. As you guys saw, I spent my morning, my very thunderstormy morning, reading One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake and finishing this entire thing. Yesterday, after I came home from work, I did end up reading 20 more pages after I updated you, I believe. I woke up this morning and we had like a flood warning, and it was raining like in an insane amount. Like seriously, I could not even do anything. The vibes were immaculate though, and I sat a little bit. I did not sit for a little bit. I sat from, I believe I want to say it was from 7:30 in the morning until 9:30 this morning, and I sat there and I read, and I did not move from my spot, and I finished One for My Enemy by Livy Blake. Girl, I gave this one 4.25 stars. It is a very close to 5 stars for me. I am stuck between 4.25 and 4.5 stars because, oh my god, is this book good. This book is so beautiful. This is written so lyrically and so beautifully and so, like it's so mystical and magical, and the vibes are insane, and the characters are insane, and the way that the story is told is insane. And there's some lines in here that I was like, wow. The romance in here, romances, crazy, 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 crazy. Olivia Blake, the woman that you are. This is so much better than the Alice 6. So much better. This is actually making me want to pick up Masters of Death and Alone with You in the Ether, because if they're written anything like this, then I'm going to love them. This book was so beautiful. It is such a beautiful story, and though you know the story of Romeo and Juliet and what's going to happen, this book still takes you on twists and turns, and the ending was so heartwarming and so beautiful and like magical and majestic. I definitely recommend. Please pick it up if you have the chance. So that means we are on to the third book of this video. I'm a little bit concerned about this one. This one is The Storied Life of AJ Fikry, and it's by Gabrielle Zevin, who is the author of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And I've read Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and I really wasn't all that enthralled by it. I didn't understand why everybody was saying it's the best book they've ever read, and why, like, I understand it was emotional and very character driven, and so you get attached to these characters and their story and what's going on with them. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. Or 4.5, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite book known to mankind, or that it changed the trajectory of my life. Like, it was okay, you know? I wasn't really dying, breathing, living for it. And so I thought the reception that that book got was a little bit overwhelming, and maybe that's why I didn't really love it as much as I should have. I don't know. I was just like, okay, this is like a fun, character-driven story, and it's a little bit sad. So knowing that this book is written by the same author makes me a little bit nervous. Not that I had any problem with the way that Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow was written. I didn't have a problem with the way it was written, but this one is very little. This one is 258 pages, and I don't know what this book is about. All I know is, did I say who I'm reading this because of? I'm reading this because of our bestie Haley. I will link all the channels down below, but if you know BookTube, you know Haley. She's one of the trio that I'm leaving until the end. So the other 2 that are coming after this are also besties with bestie Haley. So this is her 5-star book. She loved this book. She ate it up. She said that she enjoyed it a lot. And I trust her opinions, so I've decided to pick this up for myself. Like I said, I don't know what this is about. All I know is that everybody that's read this, that I've watched on YouTube or TikTok or anywhere, say that they love this book and that they enjoy it very, very much. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm thinking of picking this up today. So it says, AJ Fikry's life is not what he expected it to be. He lives alone, his bookstore is experiencing the worst sales in history, and now his prized possession, a rare collection of Poe poems, has been stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fikry a chance to make his life over and see everything anew. So it seems like a very character-driven story, and I eat those up every time. So I'm going to pick this up. Hopefully I love it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll go from there. So it is still Tuesday. It is 1:15 in the afternoon, and I have some time, so I have decided to pick up The Storied Life of AJ Fikry, and I'm going to start this now because I'm interested. Like, the little blurb that I read on the back of about this book has caught my attention, and now I'm really intrigued and really, yeah, I guess intrigued, because everybody gives this such high reviews, and it's a story about people, and I love stories about people, but it's also very short. Like I said, it's like 250 something pages, so it's very, very short. This should be done by tomorrow, probably, honestly. I'm not sure how many pages I'll be able to read today. For sure, if I don't finish this today, I'll be able to finish this tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be finishing this today because I already read One for My Enemy, which I spent like 2-3 hours reading, but I am going to start this today, and then however long I get in here, like however far I get in here today, it'll just push me to like read a little bit more tomorrow. The pages have very little writing on them. So I'm gonna pick this up and I'll let you know if I have any updates. So I'm still sitting here. I just read 20 pages of The Storied Life of AJ Fikry, and I got sucked into the story so quickly. In 20 pages, this book has captured my attention in a way that I haven't felt in a very long time. The characters are so interesting, and that's the best way I can describe it. I know I'm only 20 pages in. It's about this old man who owns this bookstore, and this like agent comes to make a sale of like a novel or some books at his store, and he refuses because he's like so against like a whole list of like genres and subgenres, and he like goes on this long spiel about why he doesn't like certain genres and why he doesn't like genre mixing and stuff like that. And he seems like a grump, but also like he has a really, really good heart. After he yells at like this woman, he like goes home and you can see that he regrets it and he feels bad about it. And it's so heartwarming to see because he's so lonely and he lives alone, and like his friend had just died and he didn't hear about it, and so he's like, oh, that's so strange that I didn't hear about it. Not that I would have gone to the funeral anyways, but still. And I'm just finding it really interesting. The way that it's written is very interesting. I believe this reads very different from Tomorrow Times 3, and I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. I don't know, but I can tell that this story is going to be very heartfelt, very impactful, very character driven, and I'm excited to continue on. I just wanted to let you know that I'm already hooked in from 20 pages in. I finished The Storied Life of AJ Fikry, and I gave this 4.25 stars. I'm stuck between a 4.25 and a 4.5 stars. Though it's 250 something pages, this book is so impactful and the story is so beautiful, and I definitely understand why everyone and their mother is talking about this book. It's because it's so well written to where you get so attached to the character and to the story that he goes through, and there's like a little reveal at the end about something that happens earlier in the book, and it's not what I expected at all. And I don't know, I feel like this is a story that everyone should read because I feel like there's something in it for everyone. And even though I was a little bit hesitant going into it, I'm not going to lie, the first like 25 pages I was interested in the story, but I felt like the way that this was written was very different from Tomorrow Times 3, and so I was a little bit skeptical about if I would like it or not. And I'm so glad that I decided to push through and give this a chance because, oh my god, the story is beautiful, it's impactful, the characters are wonderful, and you get so attached to these characters that feel so real and tangible, and they feel like not words on paper, they feel like genuine human beings that you actually get to know and get to go through all these things that they go through with them. I'm so glad I picked this up, and I'm so glad that this video made me pick this book up. So far, this video has been a 1 DNF and 2 4.5 stars or 4.25 stars. I am enjoying myself immensely. Definitely recommend this book if you're looking for something contemporary or literary fiction. It's a story about people, and if you like stories about people, then I think you would enjoy this. That is the second book, or third, I guess, technically third book of this video done. And so let's move on to the fourth book of this video, which is one that I've picked up before and put down. I soft DNF'd it, which now I'm like, was I a dumbass for soft DNFing it? Because everybody seems to love this book, and everybody that reads this book swears by it and loves it. And I've read something by this author before. It's called The Dead Romantics, and I've just given the book away, I feel like. I've read The Dead Romantics by this author, and I found myself just like okay with it. I really didn't feel too much about it, and so that's why I was a little bit hesitant, but I'm picking up this book. This is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, and this is Bestie Destiny's favorite book.
technically, because hear me out. I've watched so many of her videos. We have the exact same book taste. So her like 5-star reads video, she mentioned Beach Read, which I've read before and in one of the videos actually, and it is one of my favorite books of all time. And so she just kept going. Like, she had Akatar, I believe, she had Beach Read, she had some other books that I've read. I've enjoyed almost every 5-star read that she has, except for this one. And she said she picked this up and ended up like landing and reading the rest of it at an airport, or like reading 60% of it on an airplane or in an airport, and then when she landed, she went home straight to her room because she wanted to know what happens in this book. This book, basically, if you don't know what this book is about this girl, her name is Clementine. Her aunt passes away and she inherits her aunt's apartment, which she finds a man in that is apparently 7 years in the past. He's from 7 years in the past. And so I've picked this up before, like I said, and I soft DNF'd it because I wasn't sure if I would like this or not. I like the name Clementine. It reminds me of the Halsey song. If you know, you know. This book is 326 pages, so I don't know, but I'm going to pick it up, and I hope I like it because I actually didn't pick this up from the library. I actually bought this today. I literally went to Target to go buy this book that I soft DNF'd. So I hope I enjoy this book, because if I don't, I'm already thinking of the money I wasted, guys. In this economy. This is tomorrow's pick. And then after this book, we have the book that I am most excited for, that I've left all the way to the end. So I'll see you tomorrow when we pick up the 7-year slip.
Saw, I started the 7-year slip at work, and girl, this is how much I read in one sitting. This is how much I have left. I'm on page 218 out of 326. So I have a little bit over 100 pages left. Why am I so stupid? If I have been missing out on this book for so long, for too long, some might say. I am one of those people. This book is so cute. This book is so cute. So I read The Dead Romantics, which I believe is by the same author, Ashley Poston, and I really didn't think it was that big of a book. I felt like nobody really talked about it. I didn't see anyone talking about it. I personally didn't think it was that great of a book, to be honest. I gave it, I believe, 3.75 stars, maybe 4 stars max. This is 5-star potential. This is 5-star potential. This book is so fun, so fun. The banter in here is almost Emily Henry level. The plot, the concept of this book is so fascinating because she meets this guy who is 7 years in the past, and he's in her apartment. And this book is so good. This book is so good. I am genuinely enjoying my time reading this book so much that I might end up finishing it today, because I need to know what happens. I understand now when Destiny said that she needed to know what happens, because I as well need to know what is going to happen. The characters are so cute. The romance, it's so good. It's so good. It did not go how I expected it to go, and it's even better. It's even better than I thought it would be. It's so good. It's so fascinating. The story is so interesting. It keeps you. I've never read a book like this before. I've never read a book where the main character and her love interest meet in such a circumstance. This is pretty much, I want to say, Emily Henry level. Not like to 100%, but I want to say it's like 75% giving Emily Henry. I expected to like this book, but not as much as I'm liking it. No, I expected myself to maybe die over the last book in this video that I'm going to be doing, or that I'm going to be reading probably tomorrow, but I did not expect myself to love this book that much, to the point where I was waiting for it at the library, and there was like 90 people wait, and so I was like, oh, maybe I'll just wait for it, and I've been waiting for it for weeks, if not longer. And then I was at Target yesterday and I saw this book and they had it stocked. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm reading this for a video, so let me just purchase it. The best decision I've ever made, because I am so glad to have a copy of this book. If I hadn't bought it and I took the library copy, then I probably would have ended up buying my own copy regardless. I don't want to put this book down. I want to continue reading and I want to find out what happens. And I really genuinely, I think I might finish this today because this is how much I have left. As much as I really want to sit and binge this in one sitting, I am pacing myself because I want to spend some more time with the story, with these characters, with how beautiful everything about it is. It's so beautiful. I missed out. I literally got this right after it was published. I got this literally, I believe I had it on reserve at the library within the first month it was published, and I read it. I didn't read it. I read like the first 20 pages, I want to say, at the time, and then I was like, this is not for me, because I guess it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time for me to pick up that book. I love her, I love her, I love her. Please give her a chance if you haven't, because you are missing out and you deserve to know the beauty that is this book. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Can you guess my rating? Go ahead. I'll give you a moment to take a guess. If you guess 5 stars, you'd be right. I gave this 5 stars. This is my first 5 stars of this video and of this month. I loved the premise. I loved the characters. I loved the romance. I think this is pretty much up there with Emily Henry's writing, because this feels very similar to Emily Henry's writing in the way that it feels very realistic. And I know it doesn't, like, it's magical realism, obviously, because you have a magic apartment that you like get inside of and you're thrown 7 years in the past. I get that, but this feels very realistic. The way it was done was very realistic. I felt like the characters were very realistic. They felt very human, very flawed, very three-dimensional. They felt like people I actually met. This was the very first thing that I picked up today, and I'm really so glad for this video that made me pick this book up, and I'm glad for the universe for making me see it at Target and buying it myself, because I definitely am so glad that I have an annotated copy with my thoughts of it. And the story just felt so cute and so heartfelt and so emotional and so impactful and so beautiful, and like it was so well written. I don't remember enjoying The Dead Romantics as much as I enjoyed this one, so if you read The Dead Romantics and you didn't like it that much, I think you might still enjoy this one. I definitely think everyone should give this a chance. There's some lines in here that are so beautiful and so quotable, and the writing was beautiful and it flowed so well, and I never felt lost or bored, and I just really, really enjoyed the story, and I'm going to be thinking about it a lot. I'm so glad I have my own copy. Looking at this makes my heart hurt. We have another contender for a 5-star, because after I finished The 7-Year Slip, I immediately went and picked up the last book of this video, which is Sara Carrolli's favorite book, and 5-star read. Like, you cannot watch a video of Sarah's without hearing her speak about this book at least once. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And this book has been so hard to get. It is sold out. It is sold out almost everywhere. Not my Target doesn't have it. My Target online doesn't have it. My Barnes & Noble doesn't have it. And I've went to other stores that sell books, didn't find it anywhere. And I was going to order it online, but it would have gotten here today, and I needed it yesterday. So after I got home from work, I immediately purchased this online on Target to have it shipped to the store, and I went and picked it up yesterday because it was available at a Target that was further away from me. So I went there, I got this book yesterday, and I started it today, and I am this far in. This is how much I've read, this is how much I have left. I am on page 129, and I think I'm like, I want to say 20% in at this point. I am enjoying this book so much. This book is set in a world where the people have powers. Each person has powers, and if you don't have powers, you're an ordinary. And in this world, if you're an ordinary, you get murdered. Your family get like sent out and they get banished. And you have Hayden, who is an ordinary, but she pretends to be a psychic, and she's a thief, and she lives in the streets. And you have the love of my life, Kai, who is like the king's son. He's a prince, and he's an enforcer, which means that he is the one that doles out, like, he's the one that gives out punishments and basically executes people if they are an ordinary. And they meet, both of them meet in this Hunger Games-esque tournament. This gives me like
Hunger Games, ACOTAR, like old school YA, dystopian, stuff like that, like Divergent, stuff like that. Shatter Me, oh my god, this gives heavy Shatter Me vibes for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because I remember enjoying Shatter Me as much as I'm enjoying this one. The banter is so good. The romance is so good. The tension, the like, it feels very Hunger Games-esque because they have like these interviews where you are interviewing basically for people to like you because the people basically help you if you win or not in the tournament. And I'm enjoying myself so much. I'm eating this book up. This week has just been a week of great books and great reads, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read a little bit more because I really want to see what's going to happen. I really, really am enjoying this so much, and as much as I want to pace it out, I also want to know what's going to happen. And I'm enjoying reading about Peyton and Kai and the relationship between them and the taunting between them, and it's just so delicious. It's so delicious. And Prince Kai just gives the feeling of like those stereotypical, like sarcastic, like morally gray characters that we all love. He calls her darling, like sarcastically. Ooh, 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 it's delicious. It's so good. It's so good. Day that I'm reading this book. Yesterday I got this far in. This is how much I've read. This is how much I have left. And I'm on chapter 29 on page 251. So I'm a little bit under halfway through. Girl, this is giving. This is giving everything that I've been needing books to give for years. This is giving me Divergent vibes. It's giving me Shatter Me vibes. It's giving me the Mortal Instruments vibes. It's giving me Hunger Games specifically vibes. I love the characters. I love Peyton. I love Kai. I love their romance. I love the enemies. I love the lovers. I love all of it. I love all of it. This is definitely a 5-star. I don't even need to read till the end to tell you that this is a 5-star because I'm enjoying myself. I find myself giggling and like blushing and like I'm the one in this relationship when I'm not. I feel like I need the second book now. I don't know what's going to happen. Things are hitting the fan. This is giving like the first book of the Throne of Glass series when they're doing the tournaments in the beginning in the glass castle. It's giving that. It's giving delicious. It's giving like I'm giggling, kicking my feet, like twirling my hair and like being shy and blushing and enjoying the romance so much. I love the romance between the characters so much. This is giving everything that the books used to give back in the day. I'm so scared for how this book is going to end because if it ends on a plot twist or like a cliffhanger and I have to wait until later on in this year to get the second book, I'm going to pass away. I said what I said. You know, like do you? At least we have a little novella coming out this month. So grateful for this author for giving me back the same feelings that I used to have when I was 17 reading these books and finding myself unable to stop thinking about them. Because I literally thought I would dream about this book because of how much I was thinking about it. Stop smiling while reading this book. It's the way that this is so good. I can't stop smiling. I can't stop smiling. Even when things are going bad, it's still so good. It's still so good. It's so well done. And the romance between the characters is it's so good. I can't stop smiling. And my mouth, like my lips, my face hurts from smiling so much. officially finished Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and oh my god. Oh my god. This is insane. This is actually insane. The fact that this is her debut novel is insane. She created something that I have been itching for so long. I've been itching for a book like this for years, and I have been in such a fantasy mood, and I'm so mad that the second book isn't out yet because I need to know. I need to read more about them. I need to read more about Kai, and I need to read more about Payton because I cannot live like this. I can't live in the not knowing. I'm definitely going to reread this when the second book comes out, just as an excuse, because oh my god, did I enjoy my time reading this book. I was giggling, I was laughing, I was smiling, I was kicking my feet, and when the painful parts came on, I was so deep in there, my heart and my chest actually ached. So reminiscent of the best in my opinion. There was like a little glimpse of the second book in the end of this book, and oh my god, am I ready. I'm so ready. This is the one. This is the one. This is probably my favorite book to come out of this video, and that's saying a lot because I really enjoyed my time reading this week.
This is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let's regroup on what we did. So first off, we started with Sloot by Pham, and I ended up DNFing this because I was not enjoying the way that this book was going, and it was written about the devil, and it's about this girl and female rage, but she's also a witch, and she's young, and she basically gets the help of the devil to get revenge on a whole village. And this is just not my cup of tea. I don't like this type of stuff. The illustrations in here are creepy and weird, and I read this because Miss ABookLeo decided that this was her favorite book or her 5-star read, and I remember watching the vlog where she read this book and she ended up loving it, and I remember her reaction over this video, so I was a little bit disappointed, but it's just not my type. It's just not my style of book. It's just not my style of genre, so for that reason I ended up DNFing it. Then I read The Storied Life of AJ Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. This was because of Bestie Haley. I will link all the creators down below that I followed for this video. This book is about this man who owns a bookshop and it's failing. He's alone, his life sucks, and he meets this book publicist basically, or a bookseller that tries to sell him a book, and then his life changes from there. Things hit the fan. Very, very emotional, very impactful. I gave this 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed my time reading this book. This book was very heartfelt, very emotional, very deep, and very character driven, and I thought that was very well done. I had a good time reading this book. Then I picked up One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake, which is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but with witches, 2 witch families, and I enjoyed myself reading this book so much. I still think about this book. I still think about the way this book was written. This book made me want to go back and read more of Olivia Blake's writing, even though I was kind of put off of it from the Atlas 6. This book was so well done, so beautiful. I loved the romance, the angst, the rivalry between the 2 families, and it was just so heart-wrenching and so beautifully done and such a good read. I definitely recommend it if you like Romeo and Juliet retellings. Even if not, I think you should give this a go. I even went into Goodreads to see if there was a second book that could have been a companion novel. There's not, but I love this book so much enough to go and try to find some more stories that are set in this world. This was Cari Cake's CariCanRead, her pick. Then I read what might be one of my favorite books of all time at this point, The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, the same author of the Dead Romantics, and this pick was because of Bestie Destiny, and she said that she could not put this book down. She needed to know what was going on, what was going to happen. I definitely understand. I ended up annotating this book, and I'm so glad I bought my own copy, even though I was planning on getting it from my library. This book is beautiful, wonderful. It's about this girl, her name is Clementine, and she inherits this apartment from her aunt after she passes away. And this apartment basically can take you either 7 years in the past or 7 years in the future. And that's something that Clementine has been holding on to ever since she was a little kid, when her aunt told her the first time. And she stops believing in it after her aunt dies, but then it happens to her. And it's just following her story from there. This book was so heartfelt, so emotional, so heart-wrenching. I felt so attached to these characters. I said multiple times, and I will continue to say, I'm matching it even. I've said this multiple times, and I will continue to say that this is up there at Emily Henry level, because this book was done so well. Even if you didn't like The Dead Romantics, because I didn't like The Dead Romantics, I still loved this one. I gave it 5 stars. So glad for this video for making me pick it up, because I was hesitant on picking it up just because I really didn't see the hype about The Dead Romantics, so I thought I would enjoy this one. but I enjoyed it and I loved it. 5 stars. Definitely recommend. I loved it. I ate it up. I couldn't put it down. Please pick it up because you are so missing out. And I was hesitant, so I understand. This is me coming to you as a bestie, as a sister, as a friend, as anything you want it to be. Please go pick up this book because you're missing out if this book is not in your life. The last book that I read was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This was Bestie Sarah's recommendation on her channel. This book, she never shuts up about it. This book gave me everything and more. I couldn't have asked for a better book to end this video with. I finished this book and then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to reread it, and now I'm looking forward to the next book to come out so I can reread it, so I can have an excuse to reread this book again. This book was so well done. It gives you all the tropes that you're looking for in a classic fantasy. It has the dancing ballroom scene. It has the who did this to you scene. Left no crumbs. I was so involved with these characters, so involved in this world. I couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't put this book down. I read it in 2 days and I gave it 5 stars, and I'm so glad that I did this video so I can have an excuse to pick this book up. I have been meaning to pick this book up for so long after Bestie Sarah kept talking about it, and so I'm so glad I picked this up and gave it a shot myself. Definitely recommend it. So I don't know what else I can say other than to tell you this book gives Hunger Games and Shatter Me, and the love interest is basically kind of like Jace from the Mortal Instruments if you've read that series, and he's one of my favorite humans ever, or one of my favorite characters ever, and so like if that doesn't sell you enough on it, I don't know what will. And there you have it. That was this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what your opinion of them is. So we have 1 DNF, we have 2 4.25 stars, and 2 5-star reads, and I enjoyed myself so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. That means the world to me. I hope you have the very best day. Treat yourself to something nice, and I'll see you guys again next week with another video. Also, let me know if you want me to make a part 2 and maybe recommend me some booktubers that you would like me to read their favorite book. Okay, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Goodbye!